Hi, I'm Janet Grace, and I'm here to welcome you to episode number 13 on our Trust After Trauma podcast. And we come together every week to bring beautiful light beings that are here on this planet to share their wisdom, share their truth, share their beautiful hearts in the ways that feel really aligned for what they've experienced and how this experience of trauma, and we are sharing so many different forms, and there's 8 billion people on this planet, and I believe that there's at least 8 billion ways that we've all experienced some form of trauma, and how we can move past and navigate life in a new way, that maybe this trauma has been our greatest teacher. So today I want to introduce to you my dear sister friend, Dawn Rishard, who is a speaker, a best-selling author, and Wake Up to Real Love podcast host. She has an MA and is passionate about helping people experience deep love and connection in relationships, starting with themselves. She empowers people to heal trauma and find joy, freedom, and fulfillment in love and life. And I will be sharing different ways that you can stay connected with her. But from my heart to yours, Dawn, I'm so excited to be with you today. And I know that this conversation is going to be so rich and deep. And the topic is from the division to divine, self-love is the answer. And I know you are a self-love specialist. And so I would love for you to share with our audience today, even how that topic title was so aligned for you.
I'm so grateful to be here with you. Janet Grace was on my podcast. We connected a few years back, and she's all about love. I'm all about love. And so together we're just creating and broadcasting the signal out for all of you to hopefully open your hearts and receive the love.
Yes. And even if we were talking about, the topic title, and I know you have so much life experience that's been just the foundation of the wisdom that you share in all of your courses, all of your books that you've written, and all of the podcasts that you've hosted. And so from division to divine, can you share with our audience the and why that was so profound as the topic today?
Yeah. Well, I'll share my story, and because the thread is woven within it. So I cried myself to sleep hundreds of times in my marriage, wondering what was the matter with me. No matter how much I sacrificed for him and the kids, it was never enough. And I felt like I wasn't enough. And ironically, I was a licensed professional counselor helping a lot of couples heal their marriages, but I couldn't fix my own. And I felt, stuck. I felt powerless. And I felt unworthy of receiving the love that I really desired. So I also had another career as a flight attendant. So after I cried myself to sleep that night, I woke up, tears. My pillowcase was still wet from the tears, which was a common occurrence in my journey. But I had to go to work. And so I put on my uniform. I was walking my suitcase down the terminal, smiling on the outside,
Right.
despite how I felt on the inside. And I was raised Catholic, and I looked up and I saw this vision of the Virgin Mary before me. And, it wasn't like her body was there, but it would just, I'm intuitive and I get these flashes of pictures. Some of you may relate. And so I got this vision of the Virgin Mary, and she said to me, Dawn, you know what you need to do? everything is going to be okay. And in that moment, I ran to the bathroom, again, crying, crying, crying. And I recognized that I couldn't fix my marriage. I had to save myself. And I had been, toying with the idea of should I stay or should I leave for years because it was not a very healthy relationship. We had lots of drama and trauma in our marriage. And I just thought, I don't want my kids to think that this is the ideal because it's not. And I wanted to create a sense of peace for all of us. And so through my own healing journey, because I've always been very spiritual. I mean, now I would say I'm much more spiritual than religious. But returning to my source, I mean, I had prayed for years, give me a miracle, show me signs, what should I do? This and that. But I still felt disconnected from my source, my God, my creator. And I felt disconnected from myself.
Mm-hmm.
My light was really dimmed in my life. I mean, a lot of my parents and my friends, they were like, what's happened to you? Because you are not who you are. You're not the Dawn that we know and love. You're this like shelled version of yourself, because I had built this protective wall around my heart, in order to just make my way through life, smiling and saying, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. But I came to this realization. I mean, I had a private practice for years. I've talked to hundreds, thousands of passengers, coworkers, colleagues, and regardless of our backgrounds, our cultural upbringing, our religious upbringing, regardless of our economic status or educational status, I realize we all want the same thing. We all want to feel loved. We all want to be accepted for who we are. And we all want to feel valued, like my life matters. My life matters in the world. And so I created this 3-step process. I call it the 3 R's. Hopefully it'll be easy for people to remember. But it's a constant evolution, like through the transitions in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
because we're continually growing and evolving, hopefully. I mean, that's,
Mm-hmm.
this is nature, right? Mother Nature, continual growth and evolution, death and rebirth, right? And so these 3 R's were, the first one is release the past. And because a lot of times we carry trauma with us, we don't really share it, we suppress it, we ignore it, we deny it. But in order to heal, you have to actually feel. You have to let go of anger, resentment, sadness, grief. You have to process all of those emotions and ultimately come to a place of forgiveness for both the other and yourself. You're not excusing behavior, you're not accepting, their behavior, but you're accepting what is. So release the past so that it stays behind you. I say, like, you're carting around suitcases of junk, emotional baggage. And, how would it feel if you just released it and let it stay in the past where it's intended to be? So the second one is restore your heart. When we're brokenhearted, we think that we're broken. We're not broken. We're just broken open. And so when you restore your heart, you're really coming to a place of connection with your true nature. I mean, research has shown your heart resonance has the most energy, frequency, and vibration of any place in your body, more than your brain. And so when you tap into your heart, you tap into your emotions, and you develop a sense of compassion for yourself. You develop a sense of You can. I mean, you don't have to, but this is the invitation to restore your heart.
Mhm.
Um, Compassion, kindness, acceptance for everything that you've been through and who you are and all your challenges, and really having the eyes, the vision of
Mhm.
yourself as source. Like, my God, creator source, created me perfect, whole, and complete,
Mhm.
regardless of all the shit that I'm dealing with right now or that I've dealt with in the past. And so when we learn to see ourselves through the eyes of the divine, we go from that feeling divided and broken and not enough to feeling perfect, whole, and complete, recognizing that we're a reflection of source. So
Yeah.
restore your heart. And then the third one is similar to your love your life. It's
Mhm.
recreate your life. Like, who were you that co-created the thing? What did you make out of it? What did you believe about yourself? What kind
Mhm.
of limiting beliefs have you carried with you or negative thought patterns? And who do you want to become? Like, if we're all created from a seed, just
Mhm.
like the acorn has the fullest expression of the oak tree
Yeah.
already in the little seed,
Mhm.
so do we.
Yeah.
So who we were created to be, it's like, okay, who was I created to be? Who is the highest version and vision of myself?
Yeah.
That's the greatest expression. Feeling the greatest love, feeling the most authentic, not having to hide and pretend, that
Mhm.
you can just go out in the world and be who you are.
Yeah.
So it's going from the broken to broken open to the becoming,
Yeah.
and it's a
Yeah.
continual evolution.
Yeah.
So that all weaves the from division to divine because it all starts within.
Oh my gosh. So there's so many things that I want to ask that are, it's obvious that you are a brilliant and beautiful teacher of this, and
Yeah.
self-love is the answer. And even as, release, restore, recreate your 3 R's, we can do that every day.
Every day.
Releasing an old story, releasing
Yep.
an old image, an old identity we might
Yep.
have about ourselves, all kinds of things. And really, the invitation to all of our listeners is to, take notes, because when we have a master teacher like Dawn here, and I'm really um recreating what you just said in a way that's just repeating the steps, so that we can look at all the different ways and aspects of our life
Yeah.
that we feel is not coming from self-love. And, when we think about even the 5 main areas of our life, right? Our health and well-being, our relationships, our work in the world, our finances, and our spiritual life.
Yeah.
When we can, if not all of those are experiencing, at least a level 8, we can say it's time to release some old things, some old
Yeah.
baggage. But again, going back to the division to the divine, and really just feeling into how you came to trust yourself, capital S,
Yeah.
in a way that the experience of you crying yourself to sleep countless times, uh, recognizing that your life matters and that you value who you are and whose you are to such a beautiful degree that you loved yourself enough to say, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
in its form, this relationship, because I was raised Catholic too, and till death do us part, right? And I had to figure out how to explain that it was the death of the relationship and the death
The
of
death of me.
who I, yeah, was with who God intended for me to be moving
Right,
forward.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, the name of your podcast, Trust from Trauma,
After trauma. After.
Trust After Trauma. When we experience trauma, there is a division within us. Like our mind is divided, our heart is divided. We disconnect from our bodies a lot of times and the signals that it shares with us. And we disconnect from our spirit because we're kind of running away. It's like we want to run away and hide. And you know, so many of us when we're young, we're taught to suppress our emotions. Um, so, it's not okay to cry or yell or whatever the case is. And so you learn to shut down a lot of your senses in order to numb yourself. I mean,
Mhm.
this is why people become addicted and all the things because they're numbing the pain. They're not actually experiencing and letting the pain and the emotions pass through them. And so you, I mean, even in my own story, it's like I had a hard time trusting myself. It was like, well, I think that I love myself, but if I'm tolerating this, then that's not very kind and loving to myself. It's like, how do we distinguish between the sense of obligation and responsibility versus what's the thing that really honors us and nourishes us and helps support us and helps us feel fulfilled and, lighter and
Yeah.
more full of joy and presence and all of the beautiful things that we are. But,
Yeah.
so many of the things block us. And so it's a journey back to trusting your source and trusting that whatever experience you have been through, it's your divine masterclass.
Mhm.
It's your divine appointment of the lessons that you are here to learn, which, in my opinion, I think that all of our lessons are about loving ourselves more
Mhm.
and or learning how to have more compassion and unconditionally loving and accepting others.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, you've brought up such a great point. And I believe that when we love ourselves as God loves us, then we can love others as ourself.
Oh,
And so we're giving from the overflow,
right.
not giving from the reserves. Because when we give from the reserves, there's an energy of withhold, there's an energy of resentment, or
Yeah.
why can't you,
Scarcity.
scarcity, lack, fear, doubt, and
Right.
all of those things. And energy doesn't lie. Energy
Mm.
is real. And so even when you say that self-love is the answer, what would some of
Like,
the
what's the question?
well, that was what I was just going to say. So let's talk about maybe a couple of the questions that could be really empowering for our audience, even in this conversation. What would some of the questions be that we could share and invite others to ask themselves? And if self love is the answer, then it's going to invite them to maybe think about things differently and engage with themselves in a higher way throughout the day.
Yeah.
So what would some of the questions be that self-love could be the answer?
Okay, so I know that in my own journey, I used to ask myself, why is this happening to me?
Mm,
Why is this happening to me? I don't understand. I know I'm a good person. I know that I didn't deserve this. I know that, I have a kind heart. I know, X, Y, Z. And I kept asking myself, why? And, through the last numerous years, I mean, because I've been on a spiritual journey my whole life, but I recognize that the better question is, who do I need or want to become as a result of this experience? So I'm not focused on, I mean, of course, I have to look at what happened. We hopefully learn from our history, but it's who we become as a result of it. And that, every pain and trauma and hurt and heartache in your life can propel you into a greater version of yourself, more stronger, more resilient, more resourceful, more intuitive. I'm coming back to myself, more trusting in my own wisdom, internal wisdom and judgment, being more kind to myself. If somebody asks me something and I'm like, I don't know. Okay, honor that no. That's a no for you. As opposed to Janet Grace calls me and says, "Hey, you want to be on my podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, that's so exciting." That's a big fat yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you know the difference in your body. Your
Yeah.
body's telling you, your heart's telling you, your source is telling you, or speaking to you all the time. And so it's like, how can I learn to listen to myself and get to know myself better and be
Mhm.
curious, be
Yeah.
curious, be curious and
Yeah.
interested?
So, what is one of the spiritual practices that helps you to listen in a deeper way?
I'm a big meditator.
Hmm.
I'm a big
And what's your
meditator.
method? What's your method? Because I always say, too, as many billions of people on the planet,
Yeah.
that's how many ways there are to meditate. So, what's a favorite way for you?
Well, it's funny because I've gone through this various and sundry, and I still go through this various and sundry, but I used to listen to Wayne Dyer's he just has this 45 he had this 45-minute thing, and it was just
Hmm.
I am,
Hmm.
I am. So that you are reconnecting to yourself as I am, meaning there's nothing to be fixed, changed, figured out.
Hmm.
It's just full acceptance and peace with who I am in this moment.
Yeah.
And so, I do like a lot of breath work with it, inhaling and, exhale, inhaling and exhaling, um, and just saying I am or ahum or any sort of, mantra. Like sometimes I'll breathe in love
Yeah.
and exhale what is not love. You know, like that's my
Uh-huh.
whatever I want to breathe
Yeah.
in more of
Yeah.
my life, more peace and release chaos, or more
Yeah.
security and release instability. I mean, whatever speaks to you, and just
Hmm.
so that you're present with yourself. It's really
Yeah.
about presence. It's really about presence and connection with your ultimate creator and recognizing that you are the creator of your life.
Right. And when we're creating, I love that you brought the I am, and Wayne Dyer has been a favorite of mine, and angelically, he's, still with us as a favorite. But the I am presence, whatever we say after I am, is our truth in that moment.
The
So we can,
universe says yes.
I'm exhausted, I'm frustrated, I am, but I am loving, I am kind, I am compassionate. It's all whatever you say after I am. So when there's more attention placed on what you are in agreement with
Yeah,
source and universe in that
right.
moment, in your I am statement, that becomes your truth in that moment. And then the more that you, again, connect to the truth of who you are, and that becomes more real than anything else, that's where the muscle of trust becomes so important and so priceless on this journey of your becoming. So I love that you've brought all of those things together.
It's the muscle of trust, and it's also opening up yourself to the magic and miracles of the universe, because we're all a miracle. I mean, I love that Einstein quote. It's like you either look at everything as a miracle or not. And it's like if you could shift your own vision to see everything as working out for the highest good of all, even the traumatic things, even the horrific things, even the things that we don't understand. You know, I don't understand the divine plan, but what I want to create out of it is claiming my internal source of strength, love, wisdom, and power.
Yeah, beautifully said. And I just want to say these two words are on my desk,
Aww.
and we're here to trust love. And as we wrap this beautiful session up, is there any words that you could share with our audience today on how they can continue to really know self-love is the answer in their lives, and in their journey of becoming all that they are here to be and do and give and have, and then also share with us how we can stay in touch with you?
Yeah. So in my story, I developed a quote and it just says, love yourself so deeply that you become your own beloved. And that no matter what you've experienced or are experiencing, you are worthy of love.
And how can we stay in touch with you, Dawn?
Okay, you can subscribe to my Wake Up to Real Love podcast.
Okay.
You can find me I have over 800 TikTok videos, which is insane. But I have, they're all short. Yeah, I have over 800 TikTok videos because I have done so many like lives on Facebook and Instagram, and then my Facebook and Instagram got shut down, like suspended because somebody was messing with it. And so anyways, I started a TikTok channel last year, and I'm in the process of creating my own membership related to all things love and learning how to love better, learning how to love well, learning how to create beautiful, deep, and fulfilling and meaningful relationships, because most of us were not taught that. And so I feel like there's, so many people are seeking, and we are all wanting the same thing. I want to be loved. I want to be accepted. I want to feel valued. So it all starts here and here.
Yes.
And
And thank you. And we'll post all the different ways that you can stay in touch with Dawn in the show notes here. And you can follow Trust After Trauma as a favored podcast in all the different platforms. We're on all of them, and we're also posting it on YouTube. And we're here to really, really help move the needle in humanity, and help people to really trust their own knowing, loving hearts, which is the source of all of the life and the breath that breathes each one of us.
Right.
And, so from my heart to yours, Dawn, it's always a pleasure to have beautiful, loving conversations with you. And
You too.
I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing in the world and bringing more love and light to this planet. And
Yours too, Janet Grace. And I tell everybody, I mean, for my podcast, I say every day, wake up to more and more real love.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Janet
have a
Grace.
beautiful, blessed day. And we will talk soon.
All right, take care, everybody.
Bye.